You're watching Slow Walk It with Adrienne, and I'm your host, Adrienne Lavella. I am so excited to bring to you our very first episode on the discussion of the mental man cave. Now, I've gathered about 8 men from across the nation to help us explore this topic of the mental man cave. So please allow me to introduce my guest. He is a Grammy Award-winning guitarist, back-to-back Dove Awards for Rap Artist of the Year. He has recorded with and or performed with such artists as BeBe and CeCe Winans, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Michael W. Smith, Amy Grant, Commissioned, the Wu-Tang Clan, Luther Vandross, and so many more. Please help me welcome Mike E. Wright. And following Mike E. is Carlos Faison. He is a TV and film actor, writer, producer, and musician. He is best known for his 30 years of behind-the-scenes work with the legendary group Commissioned. He is also credited for their great comeback. He has starred and co-starred in more than 25 stage productions. He has landed major movie roles as a supporting actor in such films as Home Run Showdown, The Setup, Enough, The Wicked, and many more. He's appeared in a host of national television commercials, including one for the 2019 Super Bowl and a music video for pop star Katy Perry. When he's not filming or producing, you'll usually find him helping people with their credit through his company, Facing Forward Financial. Please give a warm shout out to Carlos Faison. And next up, he is a recording artist, songwriter, and producer. He has released 4 albums of his own and has written songs for artists such as Commissioned, Yolanda Adams, the R&B group 112 with the song Cry On, performed for the Notorious B.I.G. tribute album, as well as the R&B artist Silk, performed for the movie Blank Man. Please help me welcome Parks Stewart. My next guest is a music recording artist. He is the author of the book entitled I've Got Something to Say and the host of the podcast show Let's Unpack This. Please give a warm welcome to Will E. Coleman. And next up is Kelly R. Woods. He is a counselor, an orator, and the author of the book entitled Exploring the Gray Areas. He has established the City Help Mobile Free Clinic, the Covenant Word television broadcast, the City Help Feeding and Homeless Ministries, and the Random Acts of Kindness Outreach Ministry. He is a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated and the 100 Black Men of the Bay Area. Please help me warmly welcome Kelly R. Woods. My next guest likes to think of himself as an ordinary man, but he is far from ordinary. He became widowed at a very young age and raised his 2 little daughters all the way up to college and graduation from college. He is an extraordinary man and father. By trade, he is a cable splicer. He is also a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. Please welcome Michael C. Durham. Our next 2 gentlemen represent the younger generation, but they are wise beyond their years. Let me introduce to you a prolific poet, an artistic creator, and a graphic designer, none other than Justin Anderson. And last, but certainly not least, he is in marketing, sales. He is an entrepreneur and a musician. Please help me welcome Ricky Alexander. So, now that you've had an opportunity to hear a little bit about my guest, let's join in on the discussion. There's a growing trend all over the world. I personally do not think that it's new. I think that we have given it a title and we've added structure to it. And that trend I'm referencing is the man cave. Men have really become elaborate in creating their man cave. I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars they're pouring into man cave. They even have a DIY channel. And for those who don't know, a man cave is usually a room or a space carved out in the home for the man of the house. And it allows him to escape or seclude himself. And generally speaking, women are not welcome and usually not invited. There is a school of thought that the physical man cave is an outward expression of the inward man cave. And that is what we want to talk about today when men retreat to their mental man cave. So let me take a moment and welcome my guests today, these brave men, for joining our panel. Welcome.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting me.
It's my pleasure. Before you say that, let me just warn you that the women have chimed in and they have lots and lots of questions. So, so we are going to walk slowly around the surrounding subjects of pre-entrance into the man cave, being in the man cave, and post-entrance to the man cave. And then there are just some plain old man questions because inquiring minds want to know. So let's jump in, okay?
All right.
All right.
That's good.
So I think we need to start with a definition. So can you, each one of you, give me how you would define a man cave, a mental man cave?
So I'll go first. To me, what my definition of what a is it's my dwelling, it's my place of peace, my decompression area where I can just say, you know what, regardless of what's going on around me, this is my place of peace. So I know everything that is in that man cave that gives me a sense of peace is there. And that's what I can refer to, or I can go to, and I can just kind of get the weight of the world off of me in that space. So that's what my mental man space.
Mental man space is not so much a getaway place, but a go-to place. It's like I have like rigors of everyday life, but I do have the ability to keep my man cave with me wherever I go. But my I guess own personal definition of a man cave is not to go somewhere and bolster my manhood by eating pretzels and watching football. You know, it's just a place where because believe it or not, most of the time a man is not alone in his man cave. You invite the fellas over, hang out and watch the game and chop it up. That's really what a real man cave is for. So my mental man cave I appreciate Rick saying the place of reflection, but mine is to go and not think about anything. You know what I mean? I got a prayer closet for that, and then I got my own space for that. But the man cave is like watch Seinfeld, put my feet up, and turn the noise off of life. That's where my mental man cave is.
Yeah,
Right.
and I would like to interject that for me it's quiet because there's so much noise in the world, noise from our families, noise from work, noise from whatever we're doing, and if without that quietness or that quiet space in my head, that's kind of how I settle and regroup to go back and deal with the noise of life. I'll say it that way.
Yeah, one element of my physical man cave, which would be my apartment, is a part of what Ricky said about it. He said knowing where everything is, and I think there's a certain level of control with having your own space to go to where you know where everything is. You have a certain level of control. It's different than, you know what I'm saying, the outside world where you have all these other things coming at you.
Yeah, I would like to add that it's an escape. My thing is it's an escape. If you are married with kids, your wife might run the rest of the house, but you run your man cave. You know, you go inside, you watch what you want to watch, you eat what you want to eat. You know, like you said, where you know where everything is. It's just an escape from everything so that you can have some peace and you can just go and just retreat and just take a breath. You know, if you're watching the game, like you said, you can have some boys come over. If you got a pool table in your man cave, or some people like to play video games still, or it's just a place where you can just retreat and you don't have to worry about nobody else not liking what's in your man cave because you design your man cave. I think everybody's man cave is different because everybody is different. Some people like quiet. Some people want to sit back and watch CNN. Some people want to watch ESPN. You know, it just depends on the person. So you can't really say a man cave is one particular thing. It just depends on the person, how they design their man cave.
Yeah, I have to agree. For me, my man cave is any place that I can go to that I can just relax and get all of the stress and everything off of me. Away from, like you say, family. Well, for me, my kids are grown, but I still have a wife. And so I'm a creative person, so I need that time to myself to actually be able to just sit back and think, clear my head, and pretty much figure out, my next move, if that's the case. Or like Mike E said, just, sometimes just sit back and, watch a football game or whatever the case is, news, and see what's going on. But it's my place of silence. It's my place of just silence and away from everything.
I'm gonna say mine may be a little bit different. My mental man cave, I only have a mental man cave. And the reason why I only have a mental man cave, because my mental man cave is my place of creativity. When there's comfort, when there is peace, when there's time to reflect, when there's trying to get a strategy, whatever it is, then I go there. That's my place where I go within my mind. It's mental for me. And because I deal with it mentally, I don't like to be, I don't need a separate place because I have such demanding thoughts that when I mentally, in the natural sense, I don't want to deprive my family or my wife of time by separating myself, because the other things take up so much of my mental thought process that I want to make sure that I have time for her and for family.
We like to hear that, Park.
Yeah, you're making us look bad, man. That's kidding.
Well, personally, my man cave is a place of reflection, a place of relaxation, but also a place of creativity. I get opportunity to write and reflect and relax, as well as, the big word they're using now, begin to manifest and begin to organize my thoughts. So that's both physical, because up to a few months ago, I lived by myself, and my daughter, she came back and lived with me. And so now I'm putting together a new man cave where I can watch the game, but also write and reflect and just relax. So it's both physical as well as mental. It's a place to sort of shut out, the rigors of the day and just refresh. So that's what the man cave is to me.
Very good. Very good. Well, this is going to be interesting. So all I could think are the questions of the women playing in my head. So I'm coming along, okay? So as women, we generally don't check out, okay? If a woman checks out, that's a sign that something is seriously wrong. We do not check out. So that's number one, a different language, as you can only imagine. So let me ask you, what drives a man to his man cave?
Wow. Okay, so I can relate to the whole checkout thing, because I'm like one of the uncles on the call. I'm gonna just put it that way on the show today. And I tell young fellas all the time, women are the most tolerant, forgiving, long-suffering, patient creatures God ever created. But when a woman is through with you, she's through with you.
Yeah.
If you get her to that point, Doc, where she's through, she's through. So there's really nothing you can do about it. So to me, there are times when I say to myself, well, maybe I need to go to my man cave so I can let that space marinate. You know what I mean? So if anything, because I heard Dr. Phil say one time, women use up to 1,500 words a day, and men only use like between 500 and 750 words a day. You know, and y'all know exactly how to get down to 1,498 words. You never let a day go by without it. You know what I'm saying? And men, me, especially me, they can tell you I'm so right brain until a yes or no answer kind of solves the whole thing for me, you know? And so there are times when I feel myself getting anxious because this barrage is coming or questions are coming and it's too much explanation involved. So then that's a time for me to take a breath. And if wherever that is, you take a breath. And this mental man cave thing is a beautiful thing because I never looked at it like that. So I don't got to drive all the way across town back to my house and come up in here and so I can chill. You know, there's a place in here that being my age, I guess, or experience or whatever, that tells me, woosah. Okay, so let's just take a break like right now. And then I'll be able to come back to this because you're overwhelming me. That's the thing.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what I'm gonna call him Uncle Mike E.
No doubt.
Yeah, so I guess so. I've never been married. I'm not married. I do have a girlfriend. However, of course, we don't live together, but still, you know, what makes me retreat in a sense is, like you said, if you have this onslaught of questioning, and then you have this, you know, you're just being bombarded by so much, then it's like it will make you like, okay, let me step back for a second, let me kind of retreat, let me go ahead and turn my music on and just kind of like, okay, let me just whoa. So that helps me to recharge while helping her to recharge, so that we can come back and kind of like handle or answer those questions or whatever that may be the problem. Because one thing about me, I can speak for me, is when you start giving me a lot of questions, I shut down. I just shut down. I'm like, because I can't do that. You like question after question after question. I'm like, now I'm gonna get irritated. Now I know I need to retreat now because I don't want to say anything. So let me go ahead and retreat so that we can have harmony, peace, unity, whatever, so that there won't be any difference.
Ultimately, we want peace. The world is crazy. There's a lot of demand on us, and especially as Black men. So we already have so much to deal with. And sometimes I don't think women understand or realize that, like he said, the questions and the barrage of, can you fix this? Can you do this? Johnny slapped his sister today. Can you? It's not that we're not willing or able to deal with those things, but it's how you present it, because we need a moment. We just need, and that's not to say that women don't need their moment, but it's not neglecting that or negating that. It's just that we as men, we don't get peace. So the man cave, whether it be physically or mentally, is just a chance for us to regroup so we can deal with your questions, so we can deal with the bills, so we can deal with the faucet breaking. So all those things that are responsibilities for us, we want to do them because we love you. But at the same time, when you're coming at us, you put yourself in the same position that life has put us in. So we want to have you as a rescue or a different mode, because we've been at work all day. We're dealing with other situations and other stuff. So when we come home, we want to have you as a safe place. You know, men need to be safe as well, especially Black men right now with all this police and all this stuff that's going on. We don't feel, I don't want to come home and feel unsafe to even talk about what's going on with me. So I'll go to my man cave and I'll chill. I'll do something fun, something that gives me a place, gets me back in a good place so I can come back and deal with you.
You're watching Slow Walking with Adrian. Right now, take a moment hit the subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, or simply tap the bell. We have so many great shows coming up. We want to keep you in the loop. And now, back to our discussion.
You know, it's not a man on here that I don't think the number one thing for a man, period, is comfort and peace. We really make it simple. If you give us comfort and peace, and we will respond and not react. You know, sometimes people make us reactionary, and we would rather respond to the love than have to react to conflict. I say often that we're into conflict resolution. You know, I think, we always say communication. I always say effective communication. Your ability to hear me and to feel me. Likewise, my ability to hear you and to feel you, not just listen to you make a point or me make a point. And if you start to understand what I'm about, why I do the things I do, and I do likewise for you, then the retreat will be a natural retreat and not one to create separation. You would understand my space, I'll understand yours, and we won't feel like we're separated because it's understood, because we feel one another. And I just wanted to say that because I really appreciate, when people say barrage, we think like, oh, we turned off by the way the woman talks, or she talks so much. That's not it. It's about giving us time to process. Thought needs to be processed. And I think I can speak for mostly the men on here because we have a lot of men who are creative, counselors, musicians, poets, artists, writers. We think differently. You look at the sky, it's a nice day. I go out, I look at the sky, I write a song.
Yeah.
I go in there, I get a thought for counseling. Mikey will pick up the guitar, he's gonna play something, he's gonna write something. A poet will write, he will this. So creative people think different. They're unique and they need people who understand their uniqueness in order for that relationship to be what it is, so that when they do retreat, it's not misunderstood.
Parks, that is so well said, man.
That's a beautiful point.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
well.
sir.
I just want to piggyback off of that for a minute because I'm a newlywed, so I've been married now for 2.5 months, and
Congratulations, by the way.
thank you. And so I tell my wife all the time, this, pretty much, men are simple. By the way, this I think is helping us as men as well to hear what other men are saying about the same situations per se. And it lets us know that, okay, I'm not by myself with this. But I tell my wife all the time, I said, honey, men are pretty much simple people. We are. We don't require much, but when it's time to give us our space, just give us a moment and I'll be back to you. Not to neglect you or anything, not to shut myself or shut you out of anything, but it's just to regroup and let me process my thoughts and stuff and then come back to you.
I think you said something that was really important there. And I appreciated that statement, I'll be back. Because I think men retreat, and we'll get a little deeper into that as we go on, but when men retreat, women don't know what to think of that, because if we retreat, that's a problem. Something is wrong. So when you retreat, to be able to say, I'll be back is comforting. I think retreating with no communication behind it, or as Parks said, effective communication behind it, creates that, what men may consider insecurity, but it creates that feeling of rejection from women. And we'll get into that a little deeper, but I thought that was very key. You said that. And
I want to piggyback on that for the sisters that's listening. Retreat doesn't mean abandonment.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's nothing personal. It's not like I don't love you, I don't like you anymore. It's to your benefit. It's actually us caring about you more than that one guy that will bop you upside your head just to get you out of his face.
Mm-hmm.
So once the person, your significant, understands that the need to keep the man cave right now is actually my love and sharing and caring for you and not wanting to hurt you. I don't mean physically, I mean hurt your feelings. Because like nephew said, one more line and I'm liable to let it fly. And I don't I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
I don't want to do that.
And so once they get and like Carlos said, you know, being a newlywed, that clear communication that if I say I need to count to 10, even something as simple as that, know that I'm not rejecting you. I'm not ignoring the conversation. I'm not saying what you have to say to me is not important enough for me to hear.
Right.
It's just I have to go and get myself in a mentality now where I can hear, because right now I'm starting to block everything that's coming at.
Right.
At some
It's
point,
like
it becomes Charlie Brown's teacher.
wah, 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 wah.
Yeah.
But it's like if we're able to go to a spot, it makes our communication more effective. You know, we are able to go back and we can, you know, compartmentalize the information that we've gotten, and we can come back and come with a answer. You know, because a wise man is not going to pop off with an answer right there, but we're going to take a problem, we're going to think about it, and then we're going to come back after we thought about it, and then we're going to try to find the best way of attack for that problem. And the best way to do that is just go ahead and let us have that moment, so that we can come back with an effective means to fixing whatever the situation is.
Yeah, because we're problem solvers. So we need to think through stuff.
Right. Yep.
And women are too. I have to throw that out there. But the method of solving the problem, Will, I'm with you on the method of solving the problem, is what makes the difference between us and them.
Yep.
Kelly, do you have anything on that?
Yeah, as I thought about it, it was real insightful when they said that the retreating does not mean a running away. And as men get to their quiet space, whatever that is, if that's a physical place or a mental space, usually that men who want to do what is right will bring forth right if you give them a moment. But many times we are reactionary instead of being responsive. And that's just a matter of time. I think what Mikey said is very, very good, that if we're able to have a moment, that this will stop any type of decision making, differences, altercation, stop it from going over into hurt feelings. And as all of us know, that something that started in one place ends up somewhere else.
Yep.
And being able to have that moment, it allows us to respond instead of reacting.
I like that point being driven home about not being reactionary, but responding. When I'm counseling couples and stuff, sometimes I always tell them, hey, check your responsibility. Your responsibility is your respondability. Because, you know, when somebody else is talking or they talking at you and not talking to you, or you both going at each other, then you have a responsibility. You have a respondability. And that will cause you, as I heard what Mikey say, you know, to bring it down a level. And now you can what? Now I can respond because my ability has been ignited and not being reactionary, which leads to fuel on the fire.
Absolutely. I think it comes with an element of self-awareness. Like Michael said, having wisdom, because I know when I was a younger man, being in a certain position, I wouldn't have that. So now being on the other side of wisdom, I know when I get to that point, if I don't address it, then I might pop off in anything, you know what I'm saying, negative may happen. Whereas now I have the option of wisdom to retreat, to regroup, get my thoughts together and address it in a problem solving manner rather than a reactionary matter that could blow up.
Wow.
I'm loving
The future is safe, Justin. The future is safe. What you thinking like that? I'm proud of you, man.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have today. But our guest will be back with us for episode number 2 of the discussion forum on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Until next time, I'm Adrienne Lavella, reminding you that life can throw us challenges, but let's get through it together. We'll love together. We'll forgive together. We'll heal together. Let's do life together. I'll see you again Wednesday at 8 p.m.